This is John Scalzi's Your Hate Mail Will Be Graded, a Decade of Whatever. 366 pages with hundreds of entries. They're literally a page or two long, so they're not even real chapters. This is all about John Scalzi, the author, and his opinions. So he's an author, a professional writer, and he offers his opinions online in his blog called Whatever. And these are printed onto paper and put in a book. So I don't actually recommend this book. There's some good stuff in here and it's really interesting to read, but unless you're a professional author or planning to become a writer and making money off writing, this book probably isn't for you. He has opinions on all different topics. There's politics, there is writing, and his writing advice is really, really good. I don't plan on being a writer, I don't enjoy writing, but all of it made a lot of sense. There was some on finance, parenting, life, anything you can think of, he has probably written on it. And these are some of the highlights, and really, I didn't, I don't know how to say it. I don't recommend it because it hit home for real life. Like, I thought this would be a little bit more science fiction-y. I don't know. I like, he's a science fiction author. And so I expected some of it to be more of like learning about, how he develops characters and stuff like that. So maybe it was my expectations that were wrong going into this, but every topic that he writes on, he does a really good job of being blunt and forward, which isn't bad. It's that it really makes you think about the topic. And so even though there were, I would say, a bunch of topics in here that I completely, absolutely disagreed with him on, it still got me thinking about the topic, and I questioned where I was at and what perspective I was bringing to this, thinking, oh, why does he think that way? Is it because he, grew up, lives in California? Why does he think about it that way? And he offers perspectives, and a lot of it is, hey, do it this way or do it that way, but also this is why, coming from his perspective. So I did like that. And I mean, we're talking about a blog that, the entries end in 2008, but start in 1998. So this is like, a 90s and early 2000s, like almost like a history book, but it's opinions on events. So, like some of the political chapters I actually skipped. I think this is the only book that I've ever skipped chapters in. I don't know. I read for enjoyment. I don't want to like suffer, I guess. I don't know. I didn't want to go through political. Nah, if I want that, I'll turn on the news. So there were a bunch of chapters that I skipped just because it was like, okay, politics, yada yada. But there were some really insightful things. I thought some of the hilarious ones were like, he's like over analyzing cereal mascots. There's all kinds of stuff about nature and parenting. There's all kinds of really good stuff. But for 350 pages, I mean, it was quite a bit. And there were some where I just skipped in order to get through. So I don't recommend it, but John Scalzi is a good author, and I liked the way he wrote. I liked his bluntness, and I liked his just his overall writing style. He didn't write this for other people. He wrote it for himself to keep his own writing up to snuff in between jobs, right? Like as a freelance writer, you're not employed all of the time. And so he wanted to keep his skills up to date while, doing something interesting for him. So this isn't like a mass market paper book for everybody to be entertained. This is actually him writing for himself. And if somebody reads it, that's okay. So yeah, by far not my favorite book. So if you like John Scalzi and you're interested in what he has to say, go for it. But as for entertainment reading, I would not recommend this. But as always, remember to buy your books used.